Hi! On the Woodpecker today, Alain puts together the case and the doors.
In my last episode, I cut all the wood I needed for the case of the cabinet. But I didn't cut a notch in the shelves. So I marked what I need to remove. But while doing that, I noticed that the groove of the plywood and the ones on the solid side are not the same depth. This is because the panels are a little bit proud of the rails. So I need to fix this. I also have another problem. Even if I checked it before, the grooves are not wide enough. So I fixed that too. This is better, but I still need to cut the notches. I try my setup on a scrap piece. At least something is going well. I just need to cut all the other notches. After a last dry fit, I can sand all the interior. Finally, I can use my glue. I glue one fixed shelf at a time. I spray glue inside the groove and on the shelf itself. Then I put the shelf in place. I want a straight shelf. To do so, I clamp the shelf between two right angles. I make sure the other side is also straight. Then it's time to clamp it. The first shelf is in place. I need to do the same for the second. It was going so well until now. I need to remove the shelf and remove a little bit of veneer. Then I can put it back in place. The rest is just like for the first shelf. But to make sure the veneer will stay in place, I spread some glue, add wax paper, a wooden block, and clamp it. I'll leave this alone for the rest of the day. The next morning, I can remove the clamps, spread glue for the plywood panel, and glue the other side. When it's glued together, I clamp it. I check if it's still square. I can see how this could be out of whack, but I check it anyway. The second step of this glue up is done. I need to wait another day, and I can glue both the bottom and top. I begin by the bottom. After spreading some glue, I hold the bottom with a quick grip, then I put lots of clamps. It's crazy the number of clamps you need for something like that. When the bottom is glued up, I glue the top. But since I use my longer clamps, I ask René to give me a little help. Okay, now the top is clamped in place. I let it dry. The next morning, we have to glue the back. This is pretty straightforward. A little bit of glue, put the back in place, and clamp it firmly. And we use lots of clamps. The next day, I'm able to sand all the glue that dripped all over. Also sand the mess on the inside. This is starting to look like a cabinet, but I need to take care of the movable shelves now. First, I need to prepare some more wood for the solid edging. Okay, now I have all the movable shelves. I'll cut them to size later. The case is done, but not the doors. I need to work on them. First, I prepare all the wood I need for the stiles and rails. When I'm done, it becomes easier to figure out the placement of the door's domino mortises. I mark all of them and cut them. I prefer this type of assembly for my doors, just because I wouldn't like to see doors that look like that. After last dry fit, I can try the frame in place. Now I can cut the roofs for the solid center panels. The rails are cut right through. But on the stiles, I only cut between the mortises. Now with the grooves cut, I can measure the size of the solid panels and cut them. I have my panels, but just like on the other side, they're too thick for the grooves. I use the same bit as for the side and route a rabbet all around them. The side panels have a wainscoting look. I need to do the same thing for the doors. So after making some calculations, I mark one panel and route the V shapes. The doors panels are completed. I need to sand them smooth. Before I can glue the doors, I sand the interior parts of the door's frame. Now I can glue them. I leave them alone for the rest of the day, and on the next morning, I sand the mess the glue made. The rails and stiles are a little bit misaligned. I cut them flush. Now I need to take care of the moldings around the solid panels. They will have this look. You can see it better from the side. To do that, I cut a half round on some leftovers from the solid panels. This is the first step. I do this on both sides of the board. Next, I rip the bullnose from the board. Second step done. Now I need to cut a rabbet. This is done on my second router table. This is the final product. But to wrap around the opening, it needs to be cut at an angle. So I get my homemade miter box and make a first cut. Then I clamp a square on the disc sander. And with this square, I sand one end of the molding perfectly at 45 degrees. After marking the right angle, I cut a little bit longer and up to the sander again. Eventually, I have all the molding pieces I need. I just need to sand them a little bit. Then I can glue all of them in place. I'm really careful not to glue the moldings to the panels. This is why I use a syringe to apply the glue. Now I need to put pressure on the moldings. To do so, I lay a piece of plexiglass on top and add weight on it. And this is for all the trained buffs out there. After about 20 minutes, I remove the weight and scrape the glue squeeze out. When I'm done, I glue the next door. And another. Then I have to do the same thing for the side of the cabinet. This cabinet will sit on a base. I take care of that right now. After ripping all my wood, I cut all the pieces to the right length. The only visible corner is cut at 45 degrees. The rest is cut at 90. Now I can mark the placement of the domino mortises and cut them. When I'm done, I glue the base. I check for squareness, and it's there that I notice that I messed up again. I forgot to cut the board mark with an X straight. This is the jigsaw cut. Because of that, I have an open corner. This won't show, but still. The next morning, the glue is dry and I can sand the base smooth. If I look at our actual cabinet, it's hard to get the stuff in the back of the top shelf. It's true, we can use a step stool to get there, but I can do better than that. So, for my new cabinet, I'll make 2 shallow drawers on the top shelf. To do that, I need to have wood. First thing I cut to size is the central divider. This will go right here, but I need to drill some holes so I can screw it in place. After screwing the front screw, I take some measurements and then I can mark the placement for the other screws. Then I can mark and drill some pilot holes for the drawer slides. 2 are screwed directly onto the sides. For the 2 on the divider, it's much simpler to do it on the workbench. And like this, it's much simpler to figure the placement of the screws so they're not at the same place on both sliders. But I noticed that if I screw the slider directly on the left side, the drawers won't be able to open because of the door. I need a half-inch spacer. So I move the slider half an inch and I'm good. Now I have to cut all the wood I need to build the 2 drawers. I begin with the front. It's perfect, so I cut it in half. With the 2 drawers front in place, I can mark the placement of the sides. With those marks, I can trace the exterior of the drawers and mark the domino mortises placement and drill them. To drill the mortises in the center of the side, I stick a scrap piece to the thickness of the space from the front to the side and I drill them. Job done. I have the sides, now I need the back. Now I have the 2 drawer frames. But they're full of pencil marks. I need to remove that. Now I can glue both of them. You might think that I'm almost finished, but I'm not. So if you want to see our new bathroom towel cabinet in place, you'll have to come back to the Woodpecker.